Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my MLB DraftKings picks for Monday, July 31st. We got a decent sized slate on this Monday, an 8-game slate. I'm not going to waste you guys' time. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so just looking at pitcher today, you got 4 guys over 10K that I do like. I like all 4 of these guys. I definitely think all 4 of them are in play. But SB2 today, SB2 is very thin. Especially if you're looking for a cash game, SB2, I don't know if any of the SB2s today have no risk. I think all the guys under 10K, going from Danny Duffy and down, all carry risk. So that definitely makes this slate interesting for cash games. I think for your cash game, if you can pay up for both of those 10K guys, that makes a lot of sense, but it really is hard. You only get left with about 3,300 to 3,400 remaining per player, which is really hard to work with. But there are a ton of value bats on this slate to where I think it could work. But right now, I tried to make a lineup with 2 of those 10K guys and just couldn't do it. But if value does open up later on in the slate, I will update my 5. But as of now, I'm looking to pay up for one of those 10K guys. And then there is an SB2 towards a cheaper end that I do like that has upside. He definitely has risk involved in his matchup, but has plenty of upside. It is a really good strikeout matchup for him. But yeah, my first pitcher that I like today, like I said, I like all these 4 10K, or I like all 4 of these guys over 10K. But the guy that really stands out to me, my favorite play or my favorite pitcher on this slate, is Charlie Morton at 10,600, getting a matchup against the Rays. I really like Charlie Morton today. I love his strikeout potential here against the Rays. We know the Rays, they do strike out a ton versus right-handed pitching. They do hit the ball pretty well against righties, which does scare me a little bit. But Charlie Morton, he's just been so good as of late. He's been pretty consistent all year. He's rarely had any games where he's just got absolutely blown up. If you just look at his last 10 games, he had a 7.4 against Cleveland. Obviously, that's a really bad matchup. But if you take out that game, 31, 26, 19, 23, 19, 17, 21, 13, 34. Like Morton, he's just been so consistent all year, and he definitely has 30-point upside, especially in this matchup against the Rays. If you look at split leaderboards, the Rays, they do strike out a ton versus right-handed pitching. They're striking out 24.9% of the time. Like I said, they do hit the ball pretty well against righties, 258 average and a 330 WOBA. But if we look at Vegas today, the Rays do have a very low total. They're only implied to score 4.1 runs. Morton is a minus 151 favorite, so he has that going in his favor. So I really like Charlie Morton today. I think that Morton is definitely in play for cash games today. We know he has that good GPP upside, especially given the matchup against the Rays. He could get a ton of strikeouts here. So I really like Charlie Morton today as my SP1 at 10,600. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I really want to pay up for 2 of those 10K guys, but I just couldn't do it as of now. There isn't enough value that I'm seeing as of now, but if value does open up, I will update this 5 on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, so be sure you're following me on Twitter in case I do make any changes. But right now, there is an SP2 that I do like today towards a value tier, and that's Marco Estrada at just 6,500, getting a matchup against the White Sox. I think if people don't pay up for 2 of those 10K guys, then Estrada will definitely be the guy that they probably go towards as their SP2. I think he's just underpriced today given the matchup. The White Sox, they do strike out a lot versus right-handed pitching, and they don't hit the ball as well against righties as they do lefties. If we look at split leaderboards versus right-handed pitching, the White Sox strike out 10th most. They strike out 22.7% of the time. And offensively, they're not as good as they are against righties as they are lefties. They're only hitting a 247 average and a 304 WOBA versus righties. So this team is definitely a team that we can pick on with right-handed pitching. I think Estrada's in a good spot here. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think pretty much all the SP2s you play today are going to carry risk. But I think Estrada has enough K potential here to where he could definitely override that risk. The White Sox, they just strike out a ton versus right-handed pitching. So I think this is a good spot for Estrada. He's very cheap at just 6,500. We're not going to need much from him to return value. Probably just about 15 DraftKings points would do it for cash games at that price. And then for GPPs, he does have upside here just because the White Sox do strike out a lot versus righties. So I like Marco Estrada today as my SP2 at 6,500. When you plug in Morton and Estrada as your 2 pitchers, that still leaves you over 4,100 remaining per player. So going with these 2 guys does give us a lot of salary. to pay up for some bats, and there are definitely plenty of bats that you want to pay up for today. So the first guy that I like to pay up for is at first base, and that's Justin Smoak, getting a matchup against James Shields. Absolutely love the Blue Jays today. They're probably in the best spot on this slate against James Shields. James Shields, the dude is just not a good pitcher. He's been getting absolutely crushed by lefties and righties this year. If we look at Shields' splits versus lefties, he's given up a 440 WOBA. And Justin Smoak is a switch hitter. He'll be batting from his left side going up against Shields. And then if you look at home runs per 9 and K rate, James Shields has given up a ton of home runs to lefties this year, a 3.52 home run per 9, and he's only striking out lefties at a 13% clip, which is really low. So Justin Smoak's going to have a great chance to put the ball in play. And if you put the ball in play against James Shields, it's probably going to go over the fence because he's given up a lot of hard contact as well. 47.1% medium contact and 30.6% hard contact. He's not giving up as much hard contact to lefties as he is righties, but still over 78% medium and hard contact is good for Justin Smoak. This is a great spot just for the Blue Jays in general. If you look at their team total, I believe they have the highest team total on this slate. Right now, as I'm recording this video, they're implied to score 5.9 runs, which is really high. And there are some cheap bats in this lineup. So maybe if you do want to pay up for two of those 10K guys, the Blue Jays might be a place you could look. Joey Bats, he's only 4K. Russell Martin's 3.6. Smoak, he's kind of expensive, but Morales is only 4K. Steve Pearce, he's been crushing the ball lately. I believe he's hit like 2 walk-off grand slams the last couple of days. He's only 3.4K. Kevin Pillar is only 2.9. So definitely some value in that Blue Jays lineup, and all of them are in a great spot against James Shields. So I love the Blue Jays today, and I'm going to be looking to get some exposure to their offense with Justin Smoak today at 4,900. Absolutely love him at first base. He's my favorite first base play on this slate, so I'm going to be locking him in at 4,900. And then my final two plays are going to be in the outfield, a guy that I want to pay up for here, and then a value play that I really like. So the guy that I want to pay up for is Michael Brantley at 4,900, getting a matchup against Doug Fister. The Indians are another team that you're going to want to stack today. They're rather expensive, though. Not much value in that Indians lineup. I believe pretty much all their guys are over 4K, nearly 5K. Zimmer 5.2, he's really expensive now. He used to be cheap, but his price has kind of risen. He's been killing the ball. Lindor's expensive. Brantley's expensive. So I think if you don't pay up for two 10K guys, then you can definitely get in some of these Indians bats, and they're in a great spot against Fister. Their team total is 5.7 runs right now as I'm recording this video. So the Indians are in a great spot. If you just look at Doug Fister's splits, the dude's been getting crushed by lefties. Not as bad against righties, but to lefties, he's given up a 445 WOBA. And he's also given up a ton of home runs to lefties, a 2.61 home run per 9. And he's only striking out lefties 15% of the time, which is great for Brantley. He'll definitely have a chance to put the ball in play. And Doug Fister is also giving up a lot of medium and hard contact to lefties, 52.6% medium contact and 31.6% hard contact. That's nearly 85% medium hard contact to left-handed hitters. So Michael Brantley's in a great spot here. The lefties in general are in a great spot. I love Bradley Zimmer, love Lindor, love Jose Ramirez, Santana. Really like the lefties. I definitely think that the lefties are in better spots than the righties are, but you can still play it Encarnacion. He's in a great spot. But the lefties are the ones that really stand out to me. So I'm going to be looking to get some exposure to the Indians with Michael Brantley at 4,900. Then a value play that I absolutely love today, a guy that I just think is way too cheap for his matchup, is Matt Joyce at just 3,300, getting a matchup against Matt Cain. Matt Joyce, he is just too cheap today for this matchup. Matt Cain, the dude is not good. He doesn't strike anybody out, and he gives up a lot of hard contact. So Matt Joyce is in a great spot here, and he's very cheap at just 3,300. I think he's way too cheap for this matchup. The A's, just as a team, are in a great spot. I believe they have a very high total as well. 5.3 runs. And they're another team that you can look towards for value. Besides Simeon and Chris Davis, Matt Joyce, he's projected to bat leadoff. He's only 3.3, obviously like him. Yonder Alonso, if you're looking for value at third or first base, he's only 3.8. Jed Lowry's only 3.6. Ryan Healy's only 3.4. So the A's are another team that you can look for value if you're trying to pay up for two of the 10K guys at pitcher. And I think if you do pay up for two of those 10K guys at pitcher, then Matt Joyce is going to be a guy that you need. He's just too cheap at 3,300. Projected to bat leadoff against Matt Cain. That's just too cheap. Matt Cain is just not a good pitcher. He's giving it up to lefties. 359 WOBA to left-handed hitters this year. And he also does give up home runs. We know he pitches in San Francisco a lot, which is going to negotiate some of those home runs. Like you see here, if you just look at his home and road splits, only a .81 home run per 9 at home in that friendly ballpark. But on the road, a 1.99 home run per 9. And obviously, Oakland's ballpark isn't a great ballpark for home runs, but it's definitely better than San Francisco. So I think Matt Cain's going to give up some home runs here. And he also gives up a lot of hard contact as well. 51.3% medium contact to lefties and 33.6% hard contact to lefties. And he's only striking lefties out at 13% clip. So Matt Joyce is in a great spot here. Like I said, he's way too cheap at 3,300 for the matchup. So I absolutely love Matt Joyce today. If you're looking for value at outfield, definitely consider him at his cheap price of just 3,300. And yeah, guys, so these are my 5 plays for tonight. I went with Charlie Morton, Marco Estrada, Justin Smoak, Michael Brantley, and Matt Joyce. When you plug these 5 guys in your lineup, that still leaves you nearly $4K remaining per player. So you do have good salary to work with. Like I said, look for the Blue Jays. They have some value. You can go towards that lineup. And look towards the Athletics lineup as well if you're looking for value. Love those 2 teams, just stacking them today. Both of those teams are in a great spots, and they do have cheap bats. And yeah, so these are my 5 plays, guys. You can use these 5 plays and make a lineup around this 5. Or if you want to get my full lineups, then be sure to follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. My lineups are $5 a day, or you can get a week of lineups for $25. So message me on Twitter if you are interested in that. Or if you just have any questions about the slate or need to ask me something, you can contact me on Twitter as well at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. If this is your first time on my channel, please be sure to subscribe. I do upload these videos pretty much every day. So I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And if you never want to miss out on any videos, if you scroll down to where the subscribe button is, there is a bell icon. If you click that little bell, that'll notify you every time I upload. So be sure to do that as well if you never want to miss out on any videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.